You see that? You see that? That's the current temperature right now. It's hot. So let's do some hot takes. Dynamic Entry, welcome back to the channel, guys, and today, like I mentioned, we're going to be reacting to some hot takes. Now, I've done this before, maybe about a year or so ago, but I figured, hey, let's do it again because people like to react to hot takes. So I'm going to be scrolling through TikTok, Googling, YouTube, wherever I might see a hot take, I'm going to react to it and talk about if it's hot or if it's not. So I'm going to do my best to do new takes, ones that I haven't reacted to before, and I'm going to try to pick some that are not so boring, you know, like, oh, One Piece is too long. Like, that's not a hot take at this point. At this point, that's a common take that everybody has, okay? So it's not it. Should we call these rage baits too? I feel like that's the new thing now. It's like hot takes can kind of become rage baits in a way. So yeah, let's just get into it. All right, so the first one that I found, it's kind of a new trend right now on TikTok where you kind of do like 10% to 100% and it gets hotter as you go. So let's look at this guy's 10 to 100% hot takes. Okay, so this 10% take, extreme difficult fights are the best type of anime fights. So the biggest boss battles are the best because they're the hardest. Yeah, I guess that's not a hot take. I guess that's why it's 10%. Yeah, I guess. Sure, I agree. Those are probably the best because they have to be because they're the most grand. 20%. See, look, hating on One Piece because it's long is not valid. Yeah, at this point, it's like that's the only excuse people have, me included. I just like throwing it out there because it's an excuse for me to not watch One Piece. It's long. I could just say that. But as far as like the way I feel about One Piece now, I've learned to respect it. Okay, I respect it, but I'm never going to watch the whole thing, all right? That's just, it's too long. All right, 40%. Aizen is not a top 10 villain, and he's not even the best villain in his show. I don't watch Bleach. I can't speak on that. So, maybe. 50%. All right, we're getting a little hot here. It says My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer are better or clear Bleach. Again, I didn't really watch Bleach. I've seen a few episodes. My Hero Academia has grown to be not as hype as it was when it first came out, and Demon Slayer has maintained the peakness of it, the animation at least. So maybe it's a hot take, but I feel like people who watch Bleach will hate you on that one. So yeah, you're getting a little warm. Okay, 80% here. He says that Sanji's the best tritagonist in all of anime. I had to Google that a second ago. I didn't even know what that word meant. Basically, it is the person of the third most importance in your show. I disagree. So yes, this is a bit hot for me. There are plenty of good trios, and me, I guess, being biased against One Piece, I would say he's not the best, but people who love One Piece feel like maybe, no, I don't know. The most like people who watch One Piece that I've encountered, some of them do like Sanji, but they do agree that he's kind of been ruined, or he's been reduced to like this pig in the anime. So maybe they would disagree with you. So I guess it is kind of a hot take because I don't agree, and I'm sure a lot of people who watch One Piece would not agree as well. So yeah, we're getting a little hot there. 90% here. This is where he wants to get hot on you, saying that Black Clover is the most generic anime ever, and he pretty much just hates it. Which, that's an opinion. Sure, it is. I feel like it got lost amongst the shuffle of other shows that came out around that time. And for me, I dropped it after the first like 3-4 episodes just because I was one of those ones who couldn't stand Asta's voice of him just yelling the whole time. So I feel no ways about this hot take. Not hot for me. And I feel like most anime watchers would agree. There are some people who really do enjoy Black Clover, but I don't think that they would say that it's like, you know, the best ever. They wouldn't defend it. So, yeah, it's not as hot as I would think that a 90% hot take would be. All right, the hottest take that he can have, 100%. Edward Elric is a top 3 anime character of all time, and a manga character, as he says. Yeah, I agree. Not very hot there, guy. Edward is a great character. He's fantastic, and his show, we mentioned it in one of our previous videos, it's always in people's top 5. It's like the Michael Jordan of anime. Of course, it's going to be in someone's top 5, and Edward Elric should be right along as the best character in the show, too. So, yeah, not hot. Not impressed with these hot takes. All right, so let's watch somebody's take here. Let's see.
I know you are no stranger to hot takes. Don't hold back.
Nobody understands Jujutsu Kaisen. We're all just here for the hands.
Nobody understands Jujutsu Kaisen. We're all here for the hands. As far as like the power system goes, yeah, it can get a bit confusing as far as the story goes. It's not super confusing, but the anime itself, yes, I agree that a lot of people are here just for the hands. We don't really care about the story. The story doesn't get a lot better if you read the manga. Like, it's a good story, but it's not like the best. It's not carried by its story. So I agree.
The only good thing about Akira is the animation. The story is absolute trash.
Akira, the only thing that it is that the animation's good. Story's trash is what he says. You know, if you can't follow along, shout out to Akira back there. If you can't follow along with the story, you shouldn't say that it's like trash. If you don't, you know, grasp or fully understand it, you can't say it's bad. For me, I would just be like, you know, it wasn't for me. That's what I would say. But it is a hot take, so sure, that's a bit hot. I will admit, if you're trying to watch Akira now, even me when I watched it for the first time, it is really slow, which I think makes people get turned off really easily to it. So yeah, I could see that. But also, for me, I feel like Akira suffers from the same thing. I hate to use the Michael Jordan thing again here, but the Michael Jordan argument where it was the first one to do it. Like, you know, Akira is one of the first mainstream movies, anime movies that got like popularized here. And so Jordan was like the first one to play basketball like at that level. So people are going to herald it as the greatest of all time, and no one's ever going to be able to come close to it, even though there are people who could be better. Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, whatever. People who grew up with it, it's the pioneer for them, so they're never going to let anybody be better. Even if they are better, they won't admit it. Same thing with Akira. Like, if there are better movies out there, which there are, people are going to be like, no, this is the masterpiece of all masterpieces.
Fans came up with a better ending to Attack on Titan than the creator did.
Alright, so fans came up with a better ending for AOT than the creator of AOT did. I didn't see any fan theories when it was going around because I avoided spoilers, so I don't know. Most of the time, people, when they have fan theories, they convince themselves so much that their story is so much better and that it's law. So when it happens, they are set up for disappointment because they're like, well, what about all this other theories that I had in my head? It was way better. It's not your vision. It's not your story to tell. So you shouldn't hold too much weight in your own opinions and fan theories because it's just going to let you down in the end. When it doesn't come true, it comes nowhere near true, and you get screwed over in the end because you hurt your own feelings. So I guess that's my hot take for that. Don't make fan theories. All right, this next one has King Vader, big time creator for a while now, big time anime creator. Let's see what he says.
Off the top of my head, I will have to say I have two. First one is that I believe in order for Boruto to shine, they had to assassinate Naruto's character. What do I mean by that?
Okay, so in order for Boruto to become Boruto that people like, they have to get rid of Naruto as a character or his own character. He explains it there, but I don't want to finish watching that. I'm sure he means like you have to belittle your own former main character to, you know, build up your new main character. Yeah, that's a tough one. It sucks because it's like same thing with I don't want to spoil this for you guys. All right, if you haven't read Solo Leveling, do not continue this video. Skip ahead like 30 seconds or whatever, then you won't be spoiled. Okay. Same thing with like Solo Leveling, the newer story, how it's about his son. It's kind of the same thing where it's like, well, it's hard to kickstart someone who is just the son of somebody so great and that people love. So do you want to sacrifice what you built up over these years to just build up this newer character that's in the same universe? Yeah, that's a tough one. All right, you can come back now from the spoilers. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with him that that's how you should do it, but I don't know if that's the right way to do it because you shouldn't really, you know, betray your fans that way. The people who made you what you are and your property so beloved and they fell in love with this character, you shouldn't have to get rid of him or belittle him to raise up somebody new. It's kind of like, you know, a new love interest coming midway through a season. You're like, what happened to this person that we've had so much time with? It's a weird one. So, interesting take.
Secondly, in the Tournament of Power, I believe it shouldn't have been Goku and Frieza versus Jiren. I think it should have been Goku and Gohan. Something.
Okay, so Gohan and Goku should have been the ones to team up and beat Jiren in the Tournament of Power. That is a hot take because I think they did it right with Frieza because that is so cool to see a moment like that of somebody that you've been like your biggest op. You're teaming up with them at the end to beat a bigger opponent. I think it was cool for the story, and it was like a new direction in which we've never seen before. We've seen Goku team up with like Gohan and all his friends and all that stuff, whatever, the father-son Kamehameha. But it's cool to see him, or see them take a new direction and have a villain come in and get kind of redeemed in a way. So I don't agree with this. So that is kind of a hot take. Good job. I enjoyed that one. Okay, I found another one of those 10 to 100% hot takes. I'm gonna skip to like 90. Let's see what it says here, because some of the earlier ones are not that hot. All right, let's go here. 90%. Before the most recent anime arc, My Hero had never released an above average season. And never released an above average season. So they're saying that most of My Hero has been average. I would disagree, because the first season was really good and really special for the time that it came out. So yeah, that's a bit of a hot take there, because My Hero did have a good first season. I agree with like the rest of it, because it was kind of mid at some points and the pacing was kind of weird. But that first season and getting introduced to everybody and showing All Might go all out towards the end, special time. You had to be there, okay? If you weren't there, you don't get it. You can't go back and watch it now to try to recapture the feeling. It's not the same. So, yeah. And 100% Black Clover is not a top 5 new gen anime. Everybody hates Black Clover apparently, so this is maybe not a hot take. Or maybe they want to rage bait you, like I mentioned earlier, by saying Black Clover is not top 5 for the people who are new gen fans. You know, I agree. Like I mentioned earlier, it got lost amongst the shuffle of all these other anime. So, yeah, not that hot. Your other take previous was a little bit hotter. All right, now I'm on Reddit because I don't want to do too many TikToks. I'm just looking at a thread of people who, you know, hot takes, whatever. I'm looking at the more recent ones. This one's from a year ago. I saw the first line. I was like, let me see. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 ruined everything enjoyable about Season 1. What was a show with a varied cast, fun fights, and fun interactions turned into a show that was just hard to get through and focus on a good-looking fights than fun ones. So basically, they said Season 2 was terrible compared to Season 1. This is a hot take. This has me going. This has baited me successfully. You're wrong. Season 1, although it was really good, Season 2 upped it. The fights, yeah, they were bigger, they were better, but they had to be because there were more stakes involved. Better opponents. Of course it was going to be like that. And, okay, if you're, like, focusing more on the story of it, I can see that, because Season 2 was more of a fight-driven arc, but the first half, Hidden Inventory of Season 2, was not. That was all story. That was one of the coolest and greatest stories that I've seen within the first 12 episodes. The best flashback prequel that I've seen. Jujutsu Kaisen does really good prequels and backstories, like with the episode 0 or the movie or whatever. Fantastic there. And this little Hidden Inventory arc definitely did hit all those same beats that the 0 did. And yeah, so if you want story, that first half is all story. And then if you want cool, sick-ass fights, the second half was all cool, sick-ass fights. Like, every fight was a movie except for when he fights the little cricket dude at the beginning. But the rest of them, pure cinema. So, terrible take. Very terrible take. But I can see why you put it here, because this was a thread asking for hot takes. And that was pretty spicy. So, you're wrong, but it was a hot take. All right, next. I read the first line again. So, same thread. It's okay to stop watching Frieren because it bores you. I've been on both sides of the Frieren argument, where the first time I tried to watch it, I got bored out of my mind and didn't get it. But once I got it and tried again, I loved it to the point, and now I rate it 9 out of 10. It's one of those amazing, but simply not for everyone shows. Okay, so I watched all of Frieren. It took me about 8 months, because I had the same thing where I watched like the first 12 episodes and I was bored, especially because I watched it in dub, and they do such a good job of like being calm and not being over like dramatic like a lot of animes are, how grating they can be sometimes. This one was just so calm and peaceful, but I think that's kind of what the point is. It's that it's supposed to be this peaceful story, and like kind of like a Vinland Saga Season 2, where it's just like you're coming to terms with everything, you're letting everything sink in, and you're reflecting. She's reflecting on her past journey, her long ass life that she's lived. So it's not supposed to be this over the top, you know, battle shonen. It is more of like a, hey, let's take a second, let's breathe, let's focus on those around us kind of story. So yeah, it does what it does very well. But for someone who is like me and this person here who posted it, we need to be bombarded a little bit by some sort of action or whatever. I can see it boring you, and I did get through it. It took a while, but I did get through it, and it was worth it. It was a good show overall. The ending definitely had more action than the first half. But yeah, if you could just stick with it to the very end, I think you'll be happy with the result. So this isn't a hot take. Oh, I mean, I don't know how you feel about the show. For me, this is a good take because I share the same opinion, and some of my friends who tried watching it also feel the same way. But I do have Chris. He loved it. He'll defend it to the end. But for me and my other buddy, we're just kind of like, yeah, it was a little boring. Like, we liked it, but you have to admit, it was boring. All right, guys, those are all the hot takes that I'm going to react to today. I don't want to burn through all of them. You know, I'm sure there's tons, thousands even, but some of them are all kind of the same. But hopefully those ones were entertaining enough for you guys, and hopefully they were hot enough for you. So with that being said, let me know yours down below. I would have asked everybody to give me their hot take, and that way I wouldn't have to find videos online, but I don't think a lot of people would respond. So yeah, that's just on us. So become a part of our community so we can ask you later on by subscribing and following down below. Look at that, I worked a plug in there. But yeah, whatever your hot take is, if you want to let me know down below, I can maybe react to a future video coming in the future, react to it in a future video. So yeah, down there, let me know all your hot takes here. And thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, even though it is hot. You know, and then when I record these videos, I turn my fan off and it's even more hot. So, and this light doesn't help. It's just been a hot vibe today, but hopefully, you know, we can find a way to stay cool. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like I mentioned earlier, you can subscribe and follow down below. And until next time, go drink some water.